professional T hunter, because you go anywhere else and nobody stands a chance, literally. For example, my first little story that I wanted to tell you is one I call the day we killed T hunting in Canyon Country. Dalton, Captain, some of you may remember him, was dating a girl from Canyon Country, and I was his roommate at the time. And she kept telling us that up in Canyon Country they had these money hides. Everybody, got together, I think it was once a month, and you paid $10 per car, and they had a money hide. One person would go out and hide, and they're saying how these things lasted 2, 3, and 4 hours, and whoever tagged the hide got half the money, and whoever hid got the other half. And the person who tagged, of course, when the next time came around, they were the one that went out to hide. So after a little bit of prompting, we said, okay, what the hell, let's go do this. So Dave, Stormbringer, and my brother Greg, Tudor Turtle, they took the Les 10 Blazer, Dalton and his girlfriend in Dalton's Toyota pickup truck, and my wife Katrina, girlfriend at the time but wife now, Squeaky, and myself. We got in my little F-150 short bed, and off we went to Canyon Country on a Saturday afternoon. They did these in the daytime too, which was kind of unique. We're used to running around at night. So we get up there and we pay our $10, and we got people kind of, they look at my meter on the dash and they, what's that? And I, well, that's my, I remember somebody said, I forget exactly how I put it, said something about, that's not some kind of directional device, is it? And I went, well, sort of, but anyway. And so they hand us this map, and this is where I started to chuckle for the very first time. They essentially had the area of Canyon Country mapped up into 4 quadrants. So they gave us this map, and they have these, a vertical and a horizontal line running through the map, and they picked one quadrant for every, so you could only hide in the one quadrant. Well, oddly enough, the parking lot where everyone meets is right at the apex of these 2 lines. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, they've already eliminated 3 directions of the compass by doing this. The parking lot is right at the apex of all 4 quadrants, and you can only hide in one quadrant at a time. So you've eliminated 3/4 of the area you need to look in. It was ridiculous. And they also tried to follow FCC guidelines, I guess. So they would key up for 2 minutes, and then they would be off the key for 60 seconds, and they would key up for 2 minutes. And this was all explained to us. So we said, yeah, okay, whatever. So after a couple of false starts, we go out and the hidden tee locks down. Well, Greg and I and Dalton, we start doing our donuts in the parking lot, and everybody's looking at us like we're some kind of people from outer space. They just literally, they all take off. And like, oh wait, whatever. So we leave, we go up the road, and I have Trina, she's watching the clock as well as the meter, so we know when they're going to unkey. So we're going along, and we went maybe 1.5 miles or 2 miles up the road, I don't remember what. And it was getting time for them to unkey, so okay, I need to get a direction. So I turned down a side street that had a cul-de-sac in it. And just as I got to the end of the cul-de-sac, they unkeyed. So I said, okay, this is perfect. When they key back up, I'll get a perfect direction. They come back on the key, I did a couple of donuts, and at the end of this cul-de-sac is a construction site. Well, my meter says that way, right through the construction site, so away I go. I find out later that these people not only do not go off-road at all, they obey all the no trespassing and all the other, the stuff that we tend to ignore. So I go shooting across this construction site, hit pavement on the other side, and my meter's coming up, 25, 30, 32. So I hit pavement on the other side, I go straight up the hill, meter's climbing, climbing, climbing. I apex the hill, and I look, and down at the other end of the hill, there goes Greg and Dave in Greg's S10. So, and as I'm going down the hill, the meter starts to drop. So immediately I turn around, and as I'm going back up the hill, they unkey. And I'm thinking, okay, great. Well, so we know we're in the immediate area. So I go back down and go up one street and come over, and no, that's not. So we go back to where we were. We go to the top of the hill and we stop. And we're waiting for them to key up again, and they never did. I'm like, what happened? So, well, we're sitting there, and then here comes Greg and Dave, and they park right in front of us. Get out, and we're chatting like, what? You know, it's been over a minute. Why aren't they keyed up again? Then here comes Dalton, not, you know, like 30 seconds behind him. So here, all three of the Simi Valley vehicles are sitting at the top of this hill, and we're chatting for a good 5 minutes. You know, why the heck is this guy keying up? And then it occurs to us, you know, it's just sort of, we look right across from where we're sitting. Trina and I are still in my truck, and Dave and Dalton and everybody else there outside. There's a driveway right across the street, and up at the top of the driveway, we look just off to the side where they're going to eat, where either there was a house going to be built or there had been a house built or something. There sits the car we're looking for, not 100 feet from us. So I got no chance because I'm not even out of the vehicle yet. My seatbelt's still on and everything. Dave, Greg, Dalton, and his girlfriend all take off on a dead run, and Stormbringer tags the car. Mind you, this is grand total of less than 10 minutes from the time that they keyed down the very first time. We go back to the lot, and these people are just like, you know, they give us our half the money, and they say, okay, you know, we said, well, we'll be back next month for, you know, to hide. We head back up the next month, the same three vehicles. We get to Canyon Country, and we're, you know, we go to that parking lot, and there's nobody there. So we get on the local station, and one of the T-Hunters says, oh, we had to cancel it this month for this or that or something else. We made 3 or 4 more trips back up there. And I think it was on the second or third trip, we're up there, and one of the guys who T-hunted, one of the older guys who T-hunted, says, I will meet you at such and such a parking lot. And he basically came and he said, you know, he said, when you guys came up here the first time, he said, you scared the crap out of these people. The fact that you were on site in less than 5 minutes, all 3 of you, they have been practicing, and they refuse to have a money hide until they feel they are ready for you. And I guess it was after 4 or 5 months we just stopped going up, because we knew there was no way in hell that they were ever going to be ready for us. So that's my little story on how we killed T-hunting in Canyon Country. And like I said, it's the epitome of what it means to be a T-hunter in Simi. The fact that these people were spending hours looking for something that took us minutes to find. Story number 2.